What's up, guys? Welcome back. Ooh. It's been 2 weeks, I know, but thank you for being patient. If you don't know where I'm at, bro, by now you should have been knowing. I'm all over social media. Like, relax. No, seriously. I'm on TikTok, Patreon for behind the scenes, Instagram. I have a Facebook, but it's only for private friends, to be honest. For Patreon supporters that want to support me, you can find me on Facebook too. So I'm everywhere. So if you don't know what I'm doing, bro, you better keep up. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been talking about my 10-year anniversary in training MMA. I know, but a lot has been going on ever since. 10 years means 10 different lessons. Besides the lesson of trusting my coaches, the next lesson is trusting my training. Duh. No, seriously, it's a different concept, because normally we talk about like, oh, trust your training, but what does that really mean, right? And when I started the sport, I literally remember not knowing about MMA. All I knew was boxing, because of course people talked about it. When I was in high school, I actually tried out for the boxing team. But I remember being the only girl. There was a friend of mine that she said she was a boxer, so she invited me to go. But I remember being there, and it was such a weird situation where I had a tank top. I don't know why I wear a tank top, but it was one of those things that the coach started holding pads for me, and then everyone started going like, like, what the hell? I was in high school. So that really embarrassed me. I'm never doing this again. I felt embarrassed. I felt little. I mean, it's not like I wasn't little anyway. I'm short. Shut up. And ever since, I decided not to do it again, because I was like, I'm not meant to be here. And then turns out that after I graduated and I started MMA, it was like, it is even better than boxing. Not saying that the sport is better than the other sport. I'm not saying that don't start with your biases. Everyone's biased about everything, but I enjoy the sport of boxing and I love the sport of MMA, but I respect both sports, so chill, all right? So then that's where I began to love MMA, and I didn't know much about it. But even though it was difficult, in my mind, right, it wasn't one of those things that, oh, I'm gonna start training here, and then if I see another gym, I'm gonna do the other gym. Like, there was nothing in my mind that said, oh, I should try multiple gyms so that I can trust my training or I can learn my training. So talking to Matt Brown in one of our seminars, UFC legend Matt Brown and Dan Severn, they backed up the fact that you need a foundational coach. So that means you have your main coach where you first start the sport. And that's what I did. Years later now, I actually hear from these UFC legends, MMA legends, that can honestly say you need a coach that you can trust, that you can trust from the very beginning. And that's what I did. But at the time, I was like, it was not one of those things that, okay, I'm going to be searching out different gyms so I can learn the sport even better. It was just my coach was my coach, and that's who I learned from. And I thought about it, right? Because a lot of us say, like, back in the day, like, social media wasn't a thing. But I remember when I first started the sport, I was very new to social media. It's not like I could watch other videos on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or anything, because social media technically originated in the 1990s. And I just found out about it, there was a platform called 6 Degrees, and it was kind of like Facebook, but that was in 1995. And anyway, right when Facebook started, that was in 2004, that's where I kind of started seeing a little bit more. But it wasn't until I actually got an Instagram account, but that was like years later. And Instagram started in 2010. So, you know, like, a lot of people can say, you know, I learned the sport through watching other people, through YouTube, through other platforms. And it's fine. I'm not judging anybody from doing that. But what I'm trying to say, that for me, I only learned my foundation from one coach, from Taz. And with the help of Coach Mac, with the help of his coaches, of course, everybody is an influence. But it was under one gym. And so what I'm trying to say is that trusting your gym, trusting the process, trusting your own foundation with MMA and your gym is like key to everything. That's how you build a solid mindset. That's how you build your fundamentals. And even years later, after 10 years in training MMA, I still work on the fundamentals. That never changes. But it was ingrained in my head from the very beginning. So when I first met, I know, right? When I first met Taz's coach, former wrestling coach, Coach Cress, which we did a podcast with on Tasmo's podcast, he talked about the essence of foundation and fundamentals. And when you have a solid base, if you guys watch the UFC fighters, right? If you have a solid base, everyone does the same stuff, like jab, cross, hook, uppercut, rear round kick, front round kick, like all the basic stuff. And so if we really think about it, that's how it all started. It was just through the trained mindset from my coach and his coach to always focus on the fundamentals. And that's how you build a solid base, to believe in what you learn. So trusting your training means that. Trusting in the solid foundation that you built with your coach, with your training partners, with your gym. And it's okay to try other gyms. Like if you don't find the comfort in one gym, then that's fine. Everyone has the freedom to do whatever they want. But at least for me, what has helped me right throughout all these years is staying loyal to my gym, to my coach, to my people, because you don't know how much you're going to grow when you truly trust and listen to the people that care about you and want to see you grow. And so I'm going to share some really good fun news that just happened over the past weekend. My niece, you guys have seen her. She's in some of my videos, a little one. She started training with us when she was like a baby. Now she was like 12 years old, but she kind of did her thing, left and came back. And she had her MMA debut. And again, she started with her coach, and she's only been trained by one coach only in his test. And of course, again, I'm not taking credit away from her other coaches because everyone plays a big role, but the foundational coach is Tess, and she had her MMA debut and she won her fight. And it was a beautiful, strong, dominant fashion where she finished the girl by a rear naked choke. And that was the basic move that we learned basically in the beginning of our MMA journey. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, we have to learn how to keep that foundation and trust that it works. When I had my first fight, it was the same thing. It was just the same thing. Like, there was nothing fancy about fighting. It was the same foundation that we learned from the very beginning. And it's more so because I trusted the process. I trusted my coach. It wasn't a big, crazy moves that I had to learn, because when you're going to a training camp, it's not like you're going to learn anything else. You're just going to sharpen your skills. That's the point of fighting, because once you learn the foundation with your coaches and your training, then when you're doing the training camp, you kind of have to go through sharpening the skills. And that's why you have your sparring partners, and then you have MMA skills training, and then you have your conditioning, strength and conditioning training, and then you combine them together, and then you fight, So as far as trusting your training means trusting that you have the ability to learn the concepts, apply them, and show them. That could be through competition. That could be in the mats, because a lot of us don't compete, and that's okay. But if you show them in the mats where you're helping your team grow, where you are working on a certain submission, a certain combo, and it's working to your favor, then it's always a nice thing. Shout out to my teammates for going 3-0 this past weekend. 3 of our teammates did their MMA debut, and they all won, and they were dominant. And I'm very proud of them, because it's really the trust that you have in your coaches, is the trust that you have with your training, with yourself, and it's learning how to apply whatever you're learning in the gym in a fight, right? So when you're in a fight, there's a lot going on in your head. This is just telling you what I see, right? And what I've thought about it and what I've lived in my life is that when you're about to fight, there's a lot of things going on, right? There's nervous, and I remember just zoning out the noise once I was in the cage because I felt a lot going on at the time. I had good feelings, I had some sad feelings for personal reasons. I felt sad, so I had a lot of emotions going into my first fight. And as I walked to the cage, I just remember trying to calm down, literally taking deep breaths like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but hey, I'm going for it. Once I got in the cage, it feels like everything is zooming in, like in, and you can't hear the noise. Everything just blacks out. Everything just freaking blacks out. And then you're right in front of the opponent, and then bam, things happen so fast. Next thing you know, you're either on the ground, something's happening, but you just hear your coach's voice in the background. And so you feel the coach's voice. You hear the coach's voice, and you just hear your heartbeat at times, right? So it's like that. Things happen so fast. And next thing you know, the fight is over. So a lot happens in a fight. And the fact that my teammates were able to perform, able to listen to the coaches, able to trust our training, that says a lot. And I'm just very proud of them. And I wanted to show you because I'm going to show them like. So I'm thankful for my team. I'm thankful for my coaches, the training that I started, and I'm learning. It's 10 years, but I'm learning so much that I'm able to put these things together in my brain, but process what I'm learning in the gym and being able to connect that to my everyday life. So that's part of the training that I've learned in MMA, is being able to learn the concepts, apply them, but not just apply them in the gym, but apply them outside of the gym too. Just one example that I can think of outside of MMA that I've applied in my everyday life is not allowing myself to belittle myself. Many times I've apologized for things I didn't do. I feel bad for things that I was supposed to do, but I didn't do. And that was very draining. And once I started being more confident in the gym, I started being more confident in myself outside of the gym. And I was able to speak my mind more clear, with more confidence, and just be myself overall. And I felt so good doing that. And I'm able to use that in my professional life and in my personal life. And I don't allow anyone to belittle me because I am not a little person. Even though I look like it, I'm not. But it's the confidence that I built outside of the gym, thanks to MMA, and of course the people that I surround myself with, is that it's helping me become a better professional, better sister, a better daughter, better best friend. And I'm very thankful for that. So just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. Make sure you follow all over social media, Warrior Evolution MMA, all over social media, Taz Knows Podcast, Taz Knows, coached by Carla. She's my strength and conditioning coach, so please follow. And see you all next week.